two American presidents, separated by nearly a century, yet linked by a list of coincidences so eerie that many believe they somehow predicted each other's deaths. The story of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy has been repeated in books, classrooms, and viral posts for decades. But is there something truly mysterious going on? Or is this a perfect example of how the human brain sees patterns where none exist?
Behind every moment lies a scientific wonder. I'm Kale, and welcome to SciCurios, where curiosity meets science.
Let's start with the basic facts. Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Kennedy was elected in 1960. That alone feels unsettlingly neat. Both were concerned with civil rights. Both were shot in the head. Both were assassinated on a Friday. Both were succeeded by vice presidents named Andrew Johnson, born in 1808, and Lyndon B. Johnson, born in 1908. The list goes on. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Lincoln was shot in Ford's Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln made by Ford. Their assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, are often compared. Booth fled a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald fled a warehouse and was caught in a theater. At first glance, it feels impossible to ignore. Some even claim that these parallels suggest fate or time loops. But before we jump to conclusions, we need to ask a critical question. How many of these facts are actually true? And how many are the result of selective storytelling? Historians have carefully examined these claims, and the results are revealing. Some parallels are accurate. Many are exaggerated. Others are simply false. For example, Lincoln did not have a secretary named Kennedy. One of his assistants had the last name Kennedy, but the popular claim oversimplifies the truth. Likewise, Kennedy's secretary was named Evelyn Lincoln, but she was not named after the president. Then there's the assassination timeline. Lincoln was shot in 1865, Kennedy in 1963. That's not exactly a perfect 100-year mirror. The Friday detail? Yes, both died on Fridays. But statistically, Fridays are not rare days for major public events. The same applies to dates and locations that sound impressive only when framed in isolation. So why do these stories feel so convincing? The answer lies in cognitive science. Humans are pattern-seeking machines. This tendency is known as apophenia, the perception of meaningful patterns in random data. When combined with confirmation bias, where we remember hits and forget misses, coincidences begin to feel prophetic. Consider this. History contains thousands of famous figures, millions of events, and endless details. If you search long enough, you can always find overlaps. But we don't notice the countless non-matching facts. We don't list the secretaries with different names. We don't highlight the differences in upbringing or policy. We only keep what fits the story. Probability plays a role too. In large data sets, unlikely coincidences aren't just possible, they're inevitable. When you compress complex lives into bullet points, you create the illusion of destiny. The more selective the filter, the more magical the result. Importantly, there is no historical evidence that Lincoln or Kennedy predicted anything about each other's deaths. The idea of prediction is entirely retroactive, constructed after both assassinations had already occurred. Yet the myth persists. Why? Because it's compelling. It transforms chaotic history into a narrative with symmetry. It makes randomness feel intentional. And in moments of trauma, people seek patterns to make sense of tragedy. This doesn't make the story stupid. In fact, it makes it fascinating. The parallels are less about presidents and more about us. About how the human mind stitches fragments together, how myths are born, and how easily coincidence becomes destiny. So the real mystery isn't whether two presidents predicted each other's deaths. The real mystery is why our brains want to believe they did. And once you see that, you start noticing similar patterns everywhere, in history, in science, even in your own life. Which coincidence surprised you the most? And do you think humans are naturally wired to see meaning where none exists?
Science is everywhere if you just know where to look. Thanks for watching SciCurious. Until next time.